Hey everyone, Jason here from Off the Beaten Path, and I just thought I would do a very quick recording here. So we started off here at the Cambrian Camp Ground here, where I just dropped that flag. We headed north on the northern end of Bunyeroo Gorge Scenic Drive, turned left onto Brachina Gorge Road, came back through Brachina Gap and past Brachina Gorge, followed the road out to the Outback Highway, turned left, headed south down the Outback Highway, and followed that a good 50-60 k's, could have been a bit more than that, into Hawker. We called into the servo there at Hawker, got fuel, AdBlue, got the tyre repaired. The servo there does a whole host of things, and they got some basic groceries as well. From Hawker, we then continued south on the bitumen, another 50 k's or so, down to Quorn, just here. So at Quorn, we called into the Visitor Information Centre and inquired about doing Arden Hills. Found out that there were new owners, had been for nearly 3 years, and it hadn't actually been open to the public. But as I'd done it before, and just before the new owners took over, the information lady was happy to reach out to the new owners on our behalf and let them know that we were camping out at Warren Gorge and we were really keen. So we then headed from Quorn out the Arden Vale Road here to Warren Gorge. And Arden Hills is just in behind here. And yeah, we set up camp and had a look at Warren Gorge, which last time I was here I didn't have the time to look at Warren Gorge, and it is well worth checking out, guys. I definitely recommend that. And then we waited to see if we're going to get access to Arden Hills. Spoiler alert, I'll tell you now, we did, which we're very grateful for. And that will be the next video after this. So without any further ado, guys, let's get into today's video. And as always, if you like what we do, please like and subscribe, and always love to read your comments down below. Hey everyone, Jason here from Off the Beaten Path, and today's a bit of a transit day. We're starting off here, leaving the Cambrian Camp Ground on the Bunyeroo Gorge Scenic Drive, so crossing this little dry riverbed would be an interesting campsite to get into when there's been a bit of rain, that's for sure. So our plan is to exit the Cambrian Campground and turn right and head north on Bunyeroo Scenic Drive up to Brachina Road, which is one of the main tourist drive roads east to west through the central or southern Flinders Ranges. So the rest of the run north from Cambrian Campground is pretty straightforward, and it's not that long. It's probably only a couple of kilometres. And we're very quickly coming up on the T-junction, which is where we are now, turning left onto Brachina Gorge Road. So that of course means we'll be going past Brachina Gorge again, which Luca was pretty chuffed about. It is one of the main features that you can see from your car in the central or southern Flinders Ranges, and so worth doing so. Absolutely worth doing so. So we've got about a 9-kilometre run through here from where we've turned on. Plenty of these dry riverbeds to cross. Quite a scenic drive through here, and like a lot of the drives, it's well worth doing it twice, once in each direction, because you get a very different perspective on the rock faces and the ranges along the track. approaching it from a different direction. This rock wall on the left here, I took a photo of the car when we went the other way and actually used that as one of the thumbnails on one of the trip videos. So just coming up here on another amazing rock formation, and they're so close to the road. That's the thing with the Flinders Ranges, so much of it is so close when you're driving. It's very different to places like the Grampians or most of the Vic High Country, where certainly on the main thoroughfares a lot of the main features are a long way off those main roads. So yeah, as I said when we went through the first time, there's got to be a spring or something here. This is the only place we've seen water, so there's got to be a spring or something here for sure, because there's no water anywhere else that we saw in pretty much the entire Flinders Ranges. But you can see the rock strier and the amazing colour there on the right hand side. Some of these old river red gums. It really is amazing country. And then on the left there again, that reddish pink rock up on an angle, just pushed up out of the crust. It really does need to be seen to be believed. And you can see the vertical surfaces of these rock formations up here. Those little red flags, there's a few of them around. As I mentioned earlier in this trip series, those red flags denote track damage. That's common through North and South Australia and Western New South Wales and Southern Northern Territory. So keep an eye out for those little red flags. They can be hard to spot, but they will warn you about track damage. And that was a day use area just back there. There's a number of hikes and walks you can do in this area. And just working our way past a number of these dry riverbeds. And we're getting a lot closer now to the actual Brachina Gorge. Again, look how these rock formations here, basically on the road. And look at that, when you come around the corner, you get quite a different perspective to when you come the other way. You can see all those layers there lined up. It really is quite amazing. Somebody parked up there in one of the day use areas. And you can see those rocky escarpments just rising up from this valley floor through here. It really is. I keep saying it's amazing, but it is. And the perspective coming back this way is quite different to what we saw going the other way. It's such an amazing edifice. I definitely recommend doing this drive both directions. And it's easy to do because you should do Bunyeroo Gorge Scenic Drive, so loop around and come back and do this again. So here we are driving through Brachina Gorge with that amazing rock wall just rising almost completely vertically up from that valley floor. You can see the layers of rock there. It really is not like anything else anywhere else that I've seen. And we're getting close to the end here, and you can see the trees. I mean, okay, they're not the biggest trees in the world, but some of them are decent sized trees, and they give you a sense of scale of how big these rock cliffs are when you see how small the trees look by comparison. crossing yet another dry stream bed here, of course. Working our way west. By and large, this road is in quite good condition and plenty wide enough for overtaking and whatever else. That's the thing, to certainly see some of the most notable features of the Flinders Ranges. You don't need a well set up four-wheel drive to get out and see this stuff. An all-wheel drive will do, any stock four-wheel drive will do, an old four-wheel drive will do. Just something with a bit of ground clearance is all you want. You can see here another couple of those red flags that I mentioned earlier. And just working our way here through another bit of a gorge. Long, almost vertical wall paralleling the road, and we're working our way out here almost out of the national park area. So this central area is actually the Flinders Ranges National Park. Also, I think now called the Flinders Ranges National Park. So turning left here onto Brachina Road and heading west back to the Outback Highway that we came in on. So you recall when we came in here a while back, we came from Parachilna on the Outback Highway and came in on Brachina Road that way. And now we've come back out after looping around on the exact same road trajectory. Coming up on that T-junction just up ahead here. And turning left onto the Outback Highway to head south towards Hawker at this point. And back on the bitumen here, so very much a transition sort of day here, where we're making quite good pace on the bitumen. Now we did pull over and just put a little bit of air back into the tyres because we knew we were doing about 150 k's on the bitumen. So there was no point driving slow and running around with 25 psi in our tyres. So we just pushed it back up to a touch over 30, and I was able to keep an eye on my tyre temperatures with the monitoring that's available to me in the Grenadier, of course. And Luca will just use that as a guide for what his tyre temps might be reaching. Working our way down past that range. Certainly making good time wasn't the issue, as you can see on the bitumen, and it was quite a scenic drive. The view of the ranges sort of kept changing. And the other thing that is quite prevalent in this part of South Australia are stone ruins. And we did see quite a number of stone ruins in very close proximity to the actual road. So I think there was some ruins there on the right. see the hills on the left there are sort of closed in a little, and before too long we've found ourselves at Hawker. So that was a pretty good run down there of about 90 odd k's, I think, to Hawker. So obviously a lot longer than what we showed, and looked for the Hawker Garage service station. Managed to get some fuel here as well as some AdBlue. So after thinking about trying to get some AdBlue at Arkaroola, and before that, before we got to Cameron Corner there, I did actually buy some here because they had AdBlue on tap on the Bowser, which is a much cheaper way to buy it. And the other thing we were able to do there at Hawker was get some food and drink to replenish our optional supplies in that area, and get the tyre replaced, or repaired rather, not replaced. So that was one of the reasons I didn't want to put a plug in it, because my understanding is if you put a plug in the tread of the tyre, then most tyre repair places will not repair it. And these were brand new tyres purchased literally just before the trip, 2 days before the trip. So from Hawker we're continuing on our way south, and the plan is to get down to Quorn. Now the trip from Hawker to Quorn is around 60 kilometres. Once again, I've cut out a fair bit of that, but it really didn't seem to take that long, even for us that sat through the entire thing, and it wasn't too long, and we were coming into Quorn, and having been here before, made a beeline straight for the tourist information office to get info on which paid tracks might be open, and see if we could book in for Arden Hills. And it was at this time that we found out that basically just after my last visit, there was an ownership change with the Arden Hills property, and it hasn't been open to the public for use as a paid recreational four-wheel drive track almost since the last time I was here. Now, because I had done it before and we're both experienced, the information lady did put a good word in for us, and we were able to get in contact with the owners. I am not going to put their details on this video because they still haven't opened Arden Hills. They're working through signage and track maintenance, and also insurance issues that they need to have all that in place before they open it to the public, and they're making sure that they've got all those boxes ticked. At this stage, they have told me that they are hoping and planning to have Arden Hills reopened in possibly March of 2026, so next year. So in roughly 5-6 months time from when you're going to actually see this video. And when it does reopen, guys, I highly recommend you support the new owners and get out there and check it out. It is very different to other parts of the Flinders, and it is one of the more technical and challenging drives that you will do in the Flinders Ranges, in my opinion. I haven't done Skytrek and I haven't done Mount Carnarvon yet. They're on my list, so I will be back. But Arden Hills, I loved it the first time, I loved it the second time, and if I came back again, I would do it again. So yeah, that's the tourist information visitor centre there in the old rail station. Great spot to check in. They've got souvenirs there. And Quorn here is where Scruffy Fella is as well. So if you're looking for a coffee or some cookies or any of that sort of stuff, go and hit the guys at Scruffy Fella up in Quorn as well. Top blokes, they will absolutely look after you. We headed out to Warren Gorge. So Arden Hills is accessible from Warren Gorge. Warren Gorge is a public camping area. It's pay per night. You can pay at the information centre, or you can pay on site. And there's a heap of different campsites there, and Warren Gorge itself is quite scenic and a popular bouldering location. Last time I was here, there was lots of people bouldering there, and Arden Hills is accessed from Warren Gorge. Now at this point, we actually didn't know if we were going to get access or not. The information lady had put us in touch with the owner, and the owners were going to have a think about it and then come and see us. They knew we were camping at Warren Gorge, and they were going to come and see us if they were happy to let us have access, which, spoiler alert, they were. So thank you to the new owners for that. We so appreciated that they were willing to allow us in there, and it's just an amazing piece of land. So the next video after this one will be Arden Hills. So stay tuned on the channel for that, guys. And as I said, Arden Hills should be reopening to the public from March next year. So turning left here, Warren Gorge, and by definition, Arden Hills is about 12 k's, maybe 14 k's, something like that, outside of Quorn to the northwest. And coming into the main entry here, Warren Gorge is actually the gorge that you drive through between these two hills here. Amazing rock formations and very, very scenic. Last time I was here, didn't really have the opportunity or the time to have a close look at Warren Gorge, so this time Luca and I certainly had the time. So our first order of business was to push through Warren Gorge to the camping area, find ourselves a campsite. We did find there wasn't a lot of shade here, but that was okay. We found a spot that had a little bit of shade, and consequently just moved our chairs with the sun. So this is Warren Gorge here that we're driving through. A couple of eager sheep there. Not sure whose sheep they are. Have to be hot dressed up in a woolly coat like that though. And as you come out the other side of Warren Gorge here, you come through to the camping area. Not sure where that track on the left goes. Camping area is here on the right hand side. And there's a number of camps. There's a little dry stream bed down on the right hand side. I guess in winter, like all these dry stream beds that we keep seeing, I guess in winter they actually have some water in them, which would be cool to see, but not something that we got to see today. And there were some campsites there, but I had it in my head for some reason that pushing through to the back area was going to be the best option, and Luca believed me, so that's what we did. So there's a long drop just there on the left. This is a bit of a day use parking area there's a number of different walking tracks that you can do in this area as well, so that's why there's quite a large car park just there. Yeah, just pulling up here to find my way into a campsite. That land that you're looking at straight ahead there, that is the entry into Arden Hills. So come back in the next video. Another long drop there on the left hand side, servicing these campsites down the end here. So it is a little bit of a walk from your campsite up to the long drop. Some would probably take their car. And we headed just down into the right here and set up camp down there. So I think the GoPro ran out of battery or something, so we went down there. I unhitched the dot and we sort of said that's our campsite, and then we headed back to check out Warren Gorge. So this is the viewing area here near that parking area with just a great view across the hill there that makes up one half of Warren Gorge. That is Warren Gorge straight there in front of us, and then you can see a little bit of the hill that makes up the other half of Warren Gorge. In the main part of Warren Gorge, rocky outcrops on both sides. And a couple of very ambitious sheep. Bit hard to see, but as I pull back you can see those rock fingers up there. Just amazing rock formations. We'll see if we can get a better view. So I did find a better place to stand and get a better view, and I've not seen many rock formations like this anywhere. Very long, thin spines of rock jutting out in a vertical plane. It really is quite unusual and just so impressive. You can see there two quite close together. Very unusual rock formations, and yeah, it was really cool to actually spend a bit of time to stop and look at these and appreciate Warren Gorge a little more this time. Another shot there. You can see a smaller one off to the right there all by itself, and then a multi-layered one there in the middle. It's a little wider. All of them having their own sort of natural variations. And you can see they go quite a ways back up the hill as well. But yeah, this is only about a 15-20 minute drive out of Quorn, so even if you're not coming out to do Arden Hills, I recommend you come and check out Warren Gorge. It is worth it. There's a great day use area where you can camp out here like we did, and it's well worth taking some time just to appreciate these natural rock formations. It was a good time of day for us. It was sort of late afternoon and the rock was catching a fair bit of sun. So yeah, after having a good look around Warren Gorge, we headed back to camp. And you can see the dot down there, just disconnected the hitch and parked up there. And we had a nice view up to the hill there. Here we are at Warren Gorge, just about to get set up. Campsite here might be for 1 or 2 nights, depending on whether we get access to Arden Hills, which we'll find out later today. Amazing rock formations in the gorge here. They just moved in, didn't they? Invaded by these black birds.
same bird we had. What was it? Back saddle or whatever.
Pack saddle.
Pack saddle?
Or you're thinking Silverton when we camped there?
Yeah, Silverton.
Could be. I don't know. Angry little gitso there. Yeah. Not bothered by us very much. They certainly weren't bothered by us really at all, that's for sure. And Luca couldn't resist giving him a little bit of bread to fight over. He was eager for them to be a bit quieter, but giving them bread was never going to make them be quiet. So I believe these are what's called apostle birds. As you can see, this guy here on the rock was right next to me. That's not zoomed in at all. He was literally that close to me. I could have reached out and patted him, he would have flown away, so I didn't. But yeah, I think they're called apostle birds. Really interesting colours and very friendly, but super alert at the same time. And of course, it was pretty hot, so we did put some water out for them, and they promptly all gathered around the glass and were drinking the water. Because there really was no water around, so I don't know where else they were getting water, probably out of whatever little plants they could find to eat. But yeah, so we put some water out there for them, which they seemed pretty happy about. Friends you make on the road, eh? So keep an eye out for these guys if you head to Warren Gorge. As I said, guys, Arden Hill's coming up in the next one. Thanks for watching. There's our camp set up, and I will see you in the next video. Please like this video if you liked it, and subscribe to this channel. We really appreciate your support.